We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you? Sorry. Busy surveying the situation. I'm sure you'll figure something out. You guys have all sorts of gadgets these days. Wiretapping, telescopic batons, futuristic circuit bending to infiltrate harbor machinery. Maybe you could even knock that Kowalson crane over using some remote controls. Or calling in tactical air support. You guys have air support, right?
Because we don't. We don't have air support or any of those other things.
I get it. Hush hush about this. Alright, I may have some advice for you on how to deal with Jean-Luc there, out of solidarity to the RCM. It's low in technology, however. First, don't fight him, obviously. Second, get him to share his theory by being subordinate. Admit your lack of expertise. Basically grovel. That's how I do it. You're...
Maybe that would work. We'll have to see.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
The lieutenant looks toward the harbor's electronic door, and then, to you, he lets out an audible sigh.
You are obviously a liberal, sailor. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on? Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding. A receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats. You know them by the names of their nation-states. The Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners. My people simply call them Maun. The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously.
Colorful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid wooden clogs too.
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have Type A race propensities. The other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem. Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more sebum. As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental Type A is in retrograde. The Semenese and the Areopagite are on the ascent. The indigenous people of this, the Insulindian archipelago, the Semenese inhabit the southern islands. I am Semenese, from the stock of Ulemuir on Ile de Fantôme. The Areopagites are the master race of the Ile Maran deserts. The Semenese are descendants of the Areopagites. We came here during a heroic migration from Ile Maran to Ansuland, thousands of years before the lactose-intolerant Maun Occidentals discovered this place. The Areopagites are the master race of the Ile Maran deserts. The Semenese are descendants of the Areopagites. We came here during a heroic migration from Ile Maran to Ansuland, thousands of years before the lactose-intolerant Maun Occidentals discovered this place. The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Semenese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls. The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Semeno-Areopagite, or Simeopagite super race. That is all. There are no more Type A races in the world.
Nature was not capable of more.
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Khoikos and the Vacholier, they are mud-colored people. To an untrained eye, the Khoiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct muddy color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, sweaty, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking al-Ghul and smoking the degenerate tobacco and for eating potato. The Khoiko, the countless micronationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with potat. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscopic ethnostates, like political amoeba. The Vacholians, halfway between Type A and the racial cauldron, two makes to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little Revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000 years.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad in Zarath-ridden potato carts. It is literally an illness, a prion disease that leaves the The revolution is enough of Tibet mediocrity. Tips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me. It would be cruel to entertain ourselves with their deformities. Were there any able-bodied races you needed education on? You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it. You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to... I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vacholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease?
He does not so much as glance at the object.
Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it.
Yes? What do you want to know? Good.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you! Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If Union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
A colorful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. Makes on the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine. It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo. Santiago S. John. You gently shake his shoulder, but nothing happens. This man could probably sleep soundly in a ship's engine room. Your fingers find their way into the shackle, flicking open its spring-loaded gate. The metal loop holds the plastic ID and a leather-bound pocketbook. The man emits a loud snore. Is he about to wake up? Doesn't look like it, but you never know. Better be quick. The sleeping dock worker has little to say about your actions. The worker, perhaps he's on his way to where you just came from, into the primordial darkness. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the frequency tab, the soft perk.
This is Precinct 57.
Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the 40...
Operating the radio is easy. Just be confident. You've probably done it 1,000 times.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Under the green prime line, a yellow saved button catches your eye. You wonder what the lieutenant's default radio station is.
Just a second, Officer.
10-2, 10.
A scrawny old man sits in a dusty cubicle, smoking, with a large white rectangle sewn on his vest. In front of him,
10-4, what's your status? Over. 10-18, 10-20, over. 10-18, 10-20, state your message, sir, over. 10-4, your badge should have most of your personal details. Look over that, over. 10-9, repeat message, over. 10-4, message received.
Is it him? What does he want?
Says he lost his...
He what? He lost his badge?
Who lost his badge?
Dick fucking Mullen. Who do you...
It's Officer Dick Mullen from the bestseller Dick Mullen.
Dick Mullen is not your name. It's the name of a fictional detective. Defend yourself. Immediately. They're laughing at you.
I hear you, officer. I'm just going to make a note here that you are in pursuit of your misplaced badge. Over.
Fuck me. Mac, come here. You've got to hear.
What's going on?
Super Cop here.
He lost his badge. He lost his goddamn fucking badge.
10-9, come again.
New Heights even.
Ask him.
Sergeant Orson wants to know if you lost your gun too.
Check your pockets. Check your... Holy fuck. You don't know where it is, do you? Okay, it's gone. Your gun is most...
10-9, come in, officer. Did you get my question? We were wondering about your gun. Over.
Even before you...
He says he didn't lose his gun. Or he...
Ask him to describe it.
Satellite Officer McLean.
Oh, request a description, huh? We'll give him one. Describe the plasma gun.
He says it's just a regular...
Sounds like he's being
Detective Mullen has done it again.
Dear God, this isn't real.
Mac, face.
I'm not going to.
Ask him.
Sergeant Orson here is wondering if you are still in possession of your genitalia. Over. That's a negative. Not going...
What's he saying?
He...
The prick ate Mama's vanilla waffles at the captain's birthday. Shut up, Chest. Tell him to apologize.
Sergeant Orson requests that you apologize for the claims that you made about his mother. Over. He says he's sorry.
Okay. Tell him to find his goddamn badge and gun.
That's Satellite Officer Vic. 10-4, affirmative.
Oh, God,
Officer, do you need further assistance? Over. Roger that. 10-10. Over and out.
A metallic drawer, it's robust, lets you see things, and the pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest.
This is the Coupe Cinema.
Motor carriage, motor carriage. Something bad with a motor carriage. A dark lump rises in your throat. In the cabin, you see inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and...
All right. Ready?
The dashboard lights up, like a leopard waking from its sleep. The lights unfold.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you...
As you hold your ledger's clip under the...
There she is. Revacholois.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations. There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. The first row has 18 dots. Not bad for what? You don't even know what it means yet. The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some. There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 100. The last row has... That's it. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights. A rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the...
Ah, Martinez. Let me see. Right here. Oh yes. Coal City. Le Royaume. Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have... The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth? Fair point. This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Wow, more than 200! It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers. Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there. For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock, there are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for. Yes.
The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go to...
You can now see your statistics on your journal page.
Yes? What do you want to know? Ah, yeah. 3 days ago, during that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller, they didn't identify themselves. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. That's right. Good.
Hello again, my man. Nope. Don't. Some of the other drivers do, though.
Hey, isn't he like smoking right now? The smell is in the air.
Okay. But this is my last one. And it's a bad habit. You should quit before both of us have lung.
Can I help you? Absolutely.
Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit.
Another thing. Great. I love... Yes?
worker is in a deep slumber.
Hello, sweet.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. And have you found anyone to be sweet to?
What was with that fucking wink?
I see you are still grieving. Well, you must forgive me. I'm Lena.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad. You know where we are, right? That's right. And we're... Yes, indeed. We are in the fine city of Revachol. Yes, and... how would I even begin to tell you? I haven't seen very many others. Speaking of history, you know what year it is. That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you then.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Nope, sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is market-driven. Oh dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came. It has something to do with everything. You were doing quite well up until the end there. It does look like you're having trouble remembering.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what... Someone more educated in...
No. I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know.
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
Of course, dear.
Life doesn't need to be a struggle. I'll be with you in a moment, officer.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup.
I'm trying to. but you keep breaking my...
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. No, you got this. There's the ball. You're the game. You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. God, this is right. You feel the familiar tremble of excitement and adrenaline that precedes every victory. The cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. Already, your muscles are adjusting to the weight, the nervous system calibrating, until you and the ball have merged into a single entity. A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything
Merde! Bordel de merde! What the hell is your problem? You vandalized our game, son! We can't play pétanque with 5 bull! No! Of course there's harm done, you orange slug! You are as a goddamn bull! Good! Mistakes are forgiven, when men at least try to right their wrongs. I believe you will try. Now why did you approach us? Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most in Martinez, the Union is cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order. If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not a coward. The day...
This is a man with a lot of past, but little present, and almost no future.
I have really... How...
Yes!
René! Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance of this fine... Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really. No,
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with the ghost caviar.
I wish I...
Respect!
I'm not even anyone...
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not anyone important in the Union. I just know Evrard. Evrard Claire. Everyone in Martinez knows the Claire brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
What do you know about history?
The old soldier, the blind leading the blind, doesn't...
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient.
No, I'm sorry, officer. No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname. The faded marks are too degraded to draw any forensic conclusions.
Where? There? Those are old. Yes, the one that happened half a century ago. Those bullets were fired during the revolution, and not much. I don't have a fresh...
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? Attaboy. It's coming back to him. You had your mesolimbic reward pathway worried there, not thinking about drinking all that time. It was like you weren't yourself. Maybe you haven't turned out well for your drinking. What happened, man? It would go well with those cigarettes. The worker is in a deep slumber. There is only one way to wake this bone idol from his slumber. Roar like a hurricane. Rip the buildings from the earth.
Why the yelling, man? Wait, what? I was just sleeping. What do you want, officer? Indeed. Help yourself to some. Wait, No. Oh, it's empty. Sorry about that, pal. Thank God, no. Brilliant. That's the name of my employer. I work in logistics.
He doesn't sound too enthusiastic about this.
How's it going? Haven't you noticed what's going on outside? Good. For one, I can get some goddamn shut-eye. Right to sleep, I say. We are the workers, the union. We know what we need, what's right for us. Okay, I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge of the union. He's smart. No, they got it.
The way he says Measurehead implies ultimate trust in this head reckoner's physical prowess.
Yeah, what about it? You know, people die here every day. Someone's found in a den. If someone has decided to die on top of a tree, then how is it my concern? I can tell you this.
You have a pretty solid feeling that the man's not just mouthing off. He's strong, but even he has reasons to be cautious here.
They say your guy was a killer. Your tree man. He has friends, same as him, killers. There's only one thing they know well. Out everyone, it's a local
Meaning, you're not gonna get more out of me.
You heard what I said. Draw your own conclusions. That's all I know, and I prefer to keep it this way.
The lieutenant gives you a little nod. So Union people think he was a killer, he thinks. Even Sleepy Hair. This doesn't help a lot, but it's something. Good work, detective. The dock worker doesn't answer. His head is already back down on the table, in sweet sleep. The worker is in a deep slumber. The man does not mind. You probably need them more than he.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait.
You see a tattered set of curtains and a polyhedron-shaped cage-like trinket.
Nothing. Now please go back to...
Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alert. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, aside from poking at it, suspicion. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtain.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held...
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
Thank you.
There is something mysterious about the curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you. This bookstore is not strictly about crime,
Indeed. Something about that book does... Well, I hope it contains what you're looking for.
Medicinal purposes. Flipping through the book, you find a number of sections on the general benefits of the pill. A large pharmacopoeia makes up nearly half of the book. You come across the following explanation. While modern pharmacopoeia are continually updated, finally, something to calm the angry spirits that have been plaguing you. It seems to contain descriptions of the medicinal properties of various ingredients that may be gathered from the pill, as well as instructions for producing a variety of herbal remedies. There are a number of zeolite tonics that promise to improve your short-term. What you're describing is booze. You don't need any herbs for that. There's nothing in here that speaks to hangovers directly. However, while browsing through the various descriptions, you become convinced that you could assemble something from the ingredients listed here. First, you need to choose a base ingredient. Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle. Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add? The ginger root will help with the nausea, and the birch bark tea will help you flush out the toxins. The pomegranate seeds are a natural aphrodisiac as a nice bonus. From the pearl, of course, or perhaps from some enterprising entrepreneur. Where you would find one of those, though, the book. Advanced race theory. Everything is calm in the eye of the race storm. Your mind is lucid and bright. The mind-bending phylogenetics appear more distant and, to be fair, a little ridiculous. The great race mystery has cleared up. All that's left to do is verbalize your thoughts. Go and talk to Measurehead about your newly found insights.
The unpromising race pupil returns. And Look, babe. The mignon of law is also
So unadvanced.
the basic race education he received in high school has led him to think his phylum are the sole authors of race theory. Basic raciste. I take pity on you. You clearly want to enter the harbor bad. Like a little boy who wants to go on the potty. I can very well.
Finally. Let's go.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks. The drawer opens smoothly. Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. Hundreds of and the same material. You already went through all of these. Look how blurry all the lines. Hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float before your eyes. Less meaningful, but aesthetically more pleasing.
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there? Right. This is probably not relevant to our case.
The drawer. An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change." The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. Calling. Calling. Still calling.
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use.
The voice of a youngster on the other end.
Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lamy. Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period? If you need any further assistance, you can visit us on the corner of Voyager and Main. I can't help you over the phone. Are we done?
The call is terminated. The tarpaulin cloak is still hanging on the railing. As your fingers touch, I will shield you from the elements and give my life.